Dear students, today the topic of our lesson is The Machine Stops, written by E.M. Foster. This lesson has been taken from New Oxford Modern English Book 7. I'll explain the whole lesson sentence by sentence. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to know science fiction, explain the lesson, know the meanings of difficult words, and to write the theme of the lesson. Before the start of the lesson, I'm saying a few words about science fiction. What is science fiction? Science fiction is a form of fiction that deals principally with the impact of actual or imagined science upon society or individuals. In other words, science fiction is based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. Dear students, we are going to start the explanation of this lesson sentence by sentence. The first sentence is, imagine, if you can, a small room, hexagonal in shape, like the cell of a bee. It means think about a small room, which is hexagonal in shape, like the cell of a bee in a beehive. Here, the word hexagonal means having 6 equal sides. You can see a beehive in the picture. It has many hexagonal cells. And this is the picture of a hexagonal room. It is lighted neither by window nor by lamp, yet it is filled with a soft radiance. Here it means that the room was lit by neither the sunlight which can come through the window, nor by any sort of internal object like a bulb or a tube light. But in spite of this, it was filled with some sort of soft light. So this sort of light can be relaxing and can give peace to mind. There are no openings for ventilation, yet the air is fresh. Here it means that there was no window or no ventilator to let the fresh air in. With the help of the machine, the completely closed room is fully oxygenated. There are no musical instruments, and yet, at this moment, this room is throbbing with melodious sounds. In spite of having no musical instruments, there are some melodious sounds in the room. An armchair is in the center. By its side, a reading desk. That's all the furniture. The writer wants to say that there was only a chair and a reading desk in the room. And in the armchair, there sits a swaddled lump of flesh, a woman about 5 feet high with a face as white as a fungus. It is to her that the little room belongs. An electric bell rang. The woman touched a switch and the music was silent. Here, electric bell seems to be like the bell of the telephone. The woman touched a button and the music was silent. It means that there was actually no musical instrument as we have read in the beginning of the lesson, but still the music was silent. I suppose I must see who it is. Now she thinks that she must see as to who was ringing the bell or to who was calling. So she turned her electric chair towards the calling device. The chair, like the music, was worked by machinery, and it rolled her to the other side of the room where the bell still rang importunately. Rang importunately means rang persistently or continuously. As a whole, this sentence means that the chair was run by electric machine, like the music was played, and she rolled her chair. She let her chair go towards that. She directed her chair by some electrical button towards the device where the calling device was ringing. Who is it? She called. Now she's asking about the name of the person who was calling. Who is it? She called. Her voice was irritable, for she had been interrupted often since the music began. She knew several thousand people. In certain directions, human intercourse had advanced enormously. Here, irritable means short-tempered or angry. There was some anger visible in her voice because she was interrupted too many times since the beginning of the music. This time, the ringing of the telephone was a kind of interruption or intervention. She can make a contact with anyone she knows from this room. Several thousand people she can contact with the touch of a button only. So from this we can come to know that there is a lot of progress made by human beings in communication system. But she said when she listened into the receiver, her white face wrinkled into smiles and she said, here we see that whenever she got the voice on the receiver, her face was lit with smile. It means that she got some near and dear one. Very well, let's talk. I will isolate myself. I do not expect anything important will happen for the next 5 minutes. For I can give you fully 5 minutes, Kuno. Then I must deliver my lecture on music during the Australian period. As we said that she smiled because she got some near and dear one on the telephone. She says, very well, let's start. And she wants to separate herself from all other activities, other things. Isolate. Isolate means being alone, not to be part of other activities. And she says, I don't expect anything important will happen in the next 5 minutes. She now tries to give him 5 minutes. So she informed Kuno, who is her son, that she could give him 5 minutes only. And then she would deliver a lecture on the topic of music during the Australian period. She touched the isolation knob so that no one else could speak to her. Isolation knob means isolation button. She disconnected all her communication with the rest of the things because at this time she didn't want to speak to anybody. Then she touched the lighting apparatus and the little room was plunged into darkness. She also switched off all the lights and the small room went into darkness. She also switched off all the lights and the small room went into darkness. Be quick, she called, her irritation returning. Be quick, Kuno. Here, I am in the dark wasting my time. She has only 5 minutes to talk to her son, Kuno. That's why she says, be quick. But it was fully 15 seconds before the round plate that she held in her hands began to glow. It means that the picture of the boy would appear on the screen. It is just like the same way as we have tablets or laptops or mobile sets. Here we see that whatever the author imagined 113 years ago came true now in the form of a tablet or a mobile set. Here, began to glow means the picture of the boy was appearing because we can see the picture or the video of the person who is talking to us. A faint blue light shot across it, darkening to purple, and presently she could see the image of her son, who lived on the other side of the earth, and he could see her. In the same way, the face of her son appeared on the screen. Dear students, I hope that you would have understood the first part of the lesson. In the next video, I will present the second part of the lesson. Thank you very much. Goodbye.